Hello, welcome back. It's me, it's Sarah. I think I'm finally on a good routine of getting these every week. I don't want to jinx myself. Well, I don't really believe in jinxing, but I'm excited. I think this is my 5th week in a row, and it's fantastic. I love it so much, and it's kind of helped me stay better organized and on top of everything in terms of knitting too. So I'm excited for myself. If you're back again, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate that you want to spend a little bit of your time with me. If you're new, welcome. Thanks for popping by. I don't think that I have too much to catch up on because I made some major life decisions immediately after last week's video. So we'll get into those. But I'm going to talk about a couple projects going on. And I did calculate all of my February totals. Well, I didn't calculate. There were no calculations. But I got all of my February totals together. So that is exciting too. I'm going to just go over those real quick as well. I don't really know if anybody cares. I like hearing about everybody else's stats. And I'm proud of my stats. So I'm going to share them. Okay. Let's just get into it. What to start with? Well, first, life choice. Not to leave everybody hanging. I talked about in the last episode, maybe a couple, I don't remember, that I quickly got on the warpath of 1 million subscriptions again, and how I didn't want to do that because I really didn't want to buy a bunch of yarn this year, which I've already failed at 100 times over with that as well. It is what it is. I made the decisions I made. So I'm not going to kick myself about it. But as soon as I was done recording last week's episode, I immediately went on and canceled all of my subscriptions, except Row 1, because I am using those for a DK Jelly Roll blanket. But I did pause that subscription because I have about 5 months, I believe, of Row 1s that I need to add into my Jelly Roll. So it didn't make sense just to keep getting them and having them stockpiled. So I was proud of myself for that decision. And then I canceled my Farmer's Daughter Fiber Sock Squad, my Yarnable subscription, and my Freckled Whimsy Christmassy sock, whatever that thing was. I quickly got sucked into it from Kay the Crazy Sock Lady because she's been knitting those up all year, and I just really love Christmas, and I really, really, really love self-striped yarn. So I did sign up for that. Maybe I don't remember what month I did. I haven't even received it yet because of how I signed up, or the date I signed up and all that stuff. So I signed up and canceled before I've even gotten a month. But I believe I should be getting that delivery in April, if I read the details correctly about how she does payment versus shipping. So I'll get that in April, and that's already paid for. So that's like a one and done. So that'll be a fun little surprise treat in April. I canceled my Yarnable. I did just receive that in the mail yesterday, but I believe my last payment is this shipment that I received, so we should all be good there. And then I just don't know if Farmer's Daughter Fiber, if I'm gonna be paying and receiving for one more sock squad, because it's like with the subscriptions, it's like the payment and the shipping and all these things. So I don't know, but either way, in the future, at least in April for surely, they are all canceled and I will not be paying for any more. And then Row 1, I am just going to keep pausing it as long as it'll let me until I get my blanket caught up, because I do have quite a few rows in that. So I'm just not sure, again, I'm not good with math and planning and thinking things through. So I'm not sure how much more width my ones I have to work up will give me. So paused that. So yay me. I thought I was getting life back on track. But then I did just buy some more yarn yesterday. But I feel like there's a reason. I have been looking at my sock kit, my yarn cabinet for all my socks, and I have gotten so sucked into variegated and speckles and stripes and all of that I don't, and I did talk about this a tiny bit on my last video, so I won't berate the subject again, but I really don't have any tonals except for the mini skeins that have come with some sock sets, but I don't have any quantity enough to make a solid color pair of socks. And I just watching all of Summer Lee, her podcast lately, and I mean, I've been following her on Instagram forever anyway. Her tonals are so beautiful in her patterns, and I feel like patterns a lot of times get lost depending on how colorful, variegation wise or speckle wise your yarn is. So I'm always so hesitant to work up those kinds of yarns in a texture pattern because I don't want to put the work into a texture and then it get lost and all that. Anyway, so I just ordered some Knit Pick Stroll in tonals just to have a little bit of fun. You know, changing up the cuff, heel, toe with a different color, all that kind of stuff. So I did purchase that, but it is what it is. Whatever. I did see an amazing thing pop through my Instagram about this gal explaining, kind of like yelling at all of us crafters about when we always say we need to use up our stash, stop buying yarn, all these things. I can't remember exactly how she explained it, but it was something along the lines of, you know, people collect things, like people collect bottles of wine and they don't apologize for it, and eventually they use it or they gift it or whatever, but it's always there and they like having it. She's like, you need to think of your stash as a collection, not something that's, you know, kind of like overwhelming you and just sitting useless. And it's so true, because now that my yarn's getting organized and it's like displayed really well in my eyes, it's so nice to just be down in this room and just be able to look at it. And I know it's an investment, and I know some people would say it's a waste of money. I know crafters wouldn't say that, but it's true, right? My stash is like my own little wine collection. And I don't know, that just made me happy, and it made me feel a little bit better. Anywho, so I did do that, and then of course, you know, girl math, I had to spend more money to get free shipping, which then I ended up spending more than what the shipping would have cost me. So I did buy some mohair from Knit Picks as well. I know that I am late to the mohair game. I have never once knit with mohair. So it was on sale. I don't need to justify this, but it was on sale. I was like, oh, I need to get the free shipping. So I grabbed a neutral color that I think I'm going to hold double with a plan that I already have in the making, and I already have the rest of the yarn for. So I did that too. So I got some Stroll tonals and some mohair. It's just like a really nice neutral oatmeal-y tan kind of color. So I think it'll be really nice. I'm kind of excited to work with it. Again, I know I'm late to the mohair train, but better late than never, I suppose. My other big life choice was, I talked about 100,000 whips that I had going last video. What do you think my dogs are barking at? They're going wild up there. Must be somebody out walking their dog. It's super, super nice right here in Northeast Ohio. I mean, here today in Northeast Ohio. It was like 76 yesterday, and it's like the same today, and it's just so beautiful out. So it's awesome. Everybody is out walking or walking their dogs. The birds are chirping like crazy bananas, and we have a bunch of trees around us. So we always have wildlife sounds, and I love it so much. So my dogs are either going crazy about somebody walking their dog, or they're squirrels, because we have a plethora of those as well. But anyway, sorry. My other major life decision that I made was to become a monogamous knitter. That's a lie. I'm not real. Let me rephrase that. I have a lot of whips going, and that is okay. I am okay with that. It does not bother me right now in the moment. But there is one project that I'm going to talk about that is driving me crazy that it's not done. So I decided to focus the majority of my time on that. I was really hoping to have it done today, but nope, it's not. So why don't we just start with that? It is my MegaMini blanket. Nope. My MegaMini scarf by Julie Ann Amos, is it? I think it's Julianne Amos. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. Very quickly, again, I'm using a Yarnaceous Fibers Galentine's Day countdown mini skein thing that she did. I love Maggie. I don't have like a lot of like obviously personal contact with her, but I did a test knit for her many moons ago, and it was actually my first ever test knit, and she was just such a joy to work with and so kind and attentive to all of our questions that we had. And I just have always wanted to purchase her yarn again. I do have something of hers. It was a bundle that she was selling with a Joji Locatelli pattern, a cowl. It was like a mystery thing, and I bought that ages ago as well, and I haven't worked it up yet. But I love her color palettes, I love her ideas, I love her posts, I love everything. So I snagged that up. It was supposed to be my last big purchase of 2023 when I was supposedly not buying yarn anymore. So I thought it would be fun because it was a pre-order, and then I'd get a little gift for myself in February. Anyway, so I've been working that up. This project is so annoying at this point because it's not done. And I found after last week, or maybe I even talked about it a little bit last week, and it's happened the last 2 weeks in a row, I have found like mistakes. It's garter stitching. You literally cannot mess it up. But I thought that I was somehow adding pearls randomly in it because I would get these rows of stockinette. So, I was just going to leave it, but I couldn't. So I ripped back, maybe I did talk about this last week. I ripped back almost a whole color, or it was half a color. And then I kept going. And then I found more mistakes. And I was like, Sarah, what is going on? Like, get it together. So I had to rip back multiple times on this. I know there's going to be people out there that are like, you could just fix it with a crochet hook, all these things, blah, blah, blah. And I do understand that. And it probably would have been easier in the long run. Obviously, I would have spent much less time. But they were just so far down. I was just worried about losing count of my rows. It doesn't matter. It just seemed more stressful to me to try to fix it than to just rip back. So I did it multiple times. So this project has taken me way longer than it was supposed to. It was started February 1st. My initial intention was to do one color a day. I just thought that'd be like so fun. Like, you get it, girl. You do that. And it took, each section takes way too long because I'm using a ridiculously small needle. I'm using a 3.0 millimeter. I just made a lot of errors in this. Like, I should have used a bigger needle, because I don't care if it was a little more airy. I don't know what I was thinking with that. Again, I'm not good at figuring things out on my own and making adjustments when it comes to knitting or even crochet, and pattern adjusting, needle adjusting, figuring out how airy something would be or how tight a gauge would be. Like, I'm not good at that. So I just Googled what needle size is popular with a fingering weight yarn, and I went with a 3.0 millimeter. And I did 90 stitches across. The pattern is totally, she like walks you through, like, she just gives you a very basic pattern, and then you can figure out how wide you want it. So again, I felt a little stranded from the beginning because I didn't really know how wide I wanted it. So I thought maybe I would just do a couple rows and see if I liked it. But then I also I could not compute how wide I made it versus like how long then that would make it with 14 colors added in. So I don't think I like what's happening. But now I'm too far in it, I feel, to go back. That's not true. I mean, I guess if I really don't like something, I can go back with it. So I'm going to show it. If you have an opinion, and that's okay, there's not too many comments I ever get on my videos, and that's okay. But if you have an opinion, I would really appreciate it, because I've also thought about ripping it all back and just holding it double for a squishier like DK. But then now I'm going into spring and summer, and I thought maybe if I just ripped it all out and did it in a bigger needle size, then it would just be a little more lightweight and airy, and maybe I could use it through like spring and summer. I also thought about ripping it all out and maybe trying to find a shawl pattern, because I do really like shawls. or maybe I just need to rip this out and make it wider so that it's more of like a, you know, a shawl that way, like a rectangular shawl. But I don't know if I would lose, I don't know how much length I would lose. I literally can't figure it out. Like I can't visualize it. I can't measure it. I can't figure it out. And I think I'm just really unhappy with it. So I spent a lot of time on it this last week, needless to say, because I just wanted to get it done to see if I would like it, and I don't have an answer. So no, so I don't think I talked about this at all last week with my, maybe, I don't remember. So this is where my stitch marker is. I literally don't remember if I had some of this pink last week and I ripped back all the way. I don't remember. But anyway, in this week, for surely, I knit this pink, this dark one right here, and then it does transition into, oh, this comes up much better than in real life. Because these, honestly, in real life, these two right here look almost identical. And then it transitioned to this like pinky purpley, and then I'm back to a blue. So this is where I'm at. So I did do a solid 1, 2, 3. I did 3 colors in a week, which doesn't, saying that out loud doesn't feel like a lot, but I mean, it's fingering on a 3mm. It was a lot. So just to recap though, and this is also getting incredibly long. So this is where previously it was. I mean, I love the colors a lot. I was getting really bummed out though in this section here because it was just like pink, 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 pink. And again, in real life, like these two colors look very similar. So I was like, Maggie, what's going on, girl? Like, where are these other colors at? I was getting these pretty browns and blues, but now we're back to a blue. So that's where we're at with this. And this one does look very similar to these blues, but it's not. This is the ball. So it is different than this blue. Well, it doesn't, I guess, look that different, but it is a bit lighter. And then obviously it's very, very darker than this blue. So I just don't know what to do. It's becoming very long. I'm very nervous that it's going to be too long. So I was thinking it would just be like a nice little like wraparound situation. It's also not very, it's just very flimsy also, which is, I think it's fine. So this is where we are. I don't know. Guys, I really don't know. I don't know if I should just finish it because I'm on right now. This blue is day 11. So I have 11, 12, 13, 14. So I literally have 4 colors to add into it. I just don't know if I should finish it, but it took me a week to knit 3 colors. So if I have 4, that's like a whole nother week, you know, plus, because it's getting to the point where it's not bringing me joy. And that's, I think, what I don't love. And I don't know. I just don't know if it would better serve in a different project. Like, I just kind of want something wider that I can like wrap around my shoulders. Again, I only did 90 stitches, so I can do whatever I want. So this is, okay. So this is 90. So that's why I'm like, I don't know, do I go back and I do love the, like the, not up and down, what's it called? Angled, oh my God. Angled of it too though. So I just don't, I just don't know. And I feel like if I don't know, I should just stop for a minute and like take a break. It's just bugging me that it's, you know, been going for over a month now. The Stellina's really pretty though. I don't really think you can see it very well, but it is so pretty. I really do like that. This is only my 2nd time working with a Stellina yarn, and I do really love that. I don't know what to do with it. I really don't. So there's 14 mini skeins total. If you guys have any ideas, if I should make it wider, if I should make something totally different, I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I'm not a cowl person though, just to put that out there. Unless it's like literally for winter to keep warm to wear with my like winter jacket, which we're getting past that season anyway. And I wouldn't use that for that. because I want it, you know, it was expensive yarn. So I want to be able to use it more often than just in the dead cold of winter. So that project has been bumming me out, hardcore bumming out. I think I should put it down for a little bit. I might. I think I'm going to put it down for a little bit. Okay. The other ones that have been getting a teensy bit of love are my vanilla sock. Still going strong. Still on the first one. Look, this is so long. So this is where I was last week. I've added just these few rows in this week. It has not gotten a lot of love. It's so big. I was at, I had a massage and a chiropractic appointment this morning. So in the waiting room, I had tried it on, and it's like, I'm pretty sure we're at a point where it's longer than most socks I've knit myself, and I still have this much to add in. So again, do you hear them going crazy again? There's got to be somebody out there. So I am using the Lion Brand Sockies in the colorway Aviation. I split a 100 gram into 250, and I'm trying to use every last bit of this that I can. I just did not realize my socks are normally about 80 grams for the pair. I did not realize that adding 10 more grams in would make like this big of a difference. I am getting concerned though, because I do want to make sure I have enough for the toe and the heel, because I would like it to all be the same. So I don't know when to stop that, and I need to probably figure out how to figure that out. I think I'll measure an old mini that I used for one pair of socks and see what's left on that and go from there. It's probably the best way to guess. Anyway, so going strong with these. And then my grandma's socks, again, I'm doing the Luna sock pattern by Summerlee Knits. It is in her new book, which I love and I highly recommend. I am doing these on Magic Loop 2 at a time, and they are very, there we go. I'm trying to get them so that I can show you. Oh my golly. It's a real situation here. I'm using Nanette Studios yarn in the colorway Jete. I don't know how to say it. So this is how far, again, these have not gotten a lot of love either. This little coffee cup is where I was the last time. So there's only been, you know, however many rows that is added in. But again, they're 2 at a time. So I do feel a little bit better about that lack of progress. And there's no timeline for these. They're just a gift knit because I love her. And when they get done, they get done. I do stand by the fact, though, that I really don't like 2 at a time on Magic Loop. I quite despise it, actually. This is my second pair of socks doing this way. I didn't like it after the first pair. The only reason that I am doing this is because I am working with a 50 gram hank that I bought on purpose, because these are shorties and she has small feet. And I'm trying to make them last as long as possible. I want them to be as even as possible. So yes, I could have done 2 at a time on separate needles, which is my 100% preferred way to knit a pair of socks. But sometimes I lose track of, this is going to sound so stupid. Sometimes I cannot count my rows properly when there are knits and purls mixed in together. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's just true, and it is a flaw of mine. So to be sure I was knitting them exactly the same length, I'm doing Magic Loop. I will only very much do this for very specific patterns, or if there's a yarn situation like I have now, because I just cannot stand it. It is so much work to push the needle through, push it all around, pull the needle out. Like, it is just so much faster to work socks 2 at a time on separate needles. It just is. Then your yarn's not getting tangled. I know there's tutorials on like how to keep your yarn untangled, flipping it this way and then flipping it this way. And then I don't know who can keep track of that when they're actually like, it doesn't matter. If you can, amazing for you. You're awesome, for real. I cannot. So I guess that's all I have to say about it. I really just don't like it. I think that it's just I just want these to be done because it's so annoying. And I guess I could put these on separate circular needles and do like one row and then one row and then one row and then one row and then one row. But that just seems really annoying to have to do that as well. And I don't want to change in the middle of a project now because I do think that my gauge is a little bit different when I do DPNs versus a 9-inch circular versus magic loop. So I don't want to like muck with them at all. But it is what it is. My grandma is well worth the frustration to make sure that her socks are as perfect as possible. I do really, really love, I don't want to say anything about the pattern because it is a paid for pattern, but I do really love the pattern a lot. I will definitely use this pattern for socks of my own too. And the yarn is just working up so beautifully. Just all the colors in it are amazing. These light bulb markers back here, if anyone cares, these are where I'm putting the afterthought heels. So I had that marked out. So that is that project. And then I know I said I was kind of monogamously knitting, but I have not shared in a very, very long time, or ever maybe, my temperature blanket that I'm working on. I did realize how very, very easy it was to get behind on that. So for like the past few times, I've had like 2 weeks to catch up on. So I did just get totally caught up on it up until today. And I'm going to put this back. I previously kept this in my room right next to my nightstand, and I would just do the row for the day that night. And a row, or it's 2 rows. It only takes 10 minutes, so it's not long at all. But there was like a time period where I had brought it down here to maybe show in a video or something, and then it never made its way back upstairs to my room. So it got very quickly behind. But I really, really love it. I know I'm only 2 plus a couple days, months into it, and I know people get burnt out with it, like, you know, through summer and things like that. But it is really fun. I'm doing it with a girlfriend of mine, so I do feel like that helps as well. And I am kind of already pre-planning next year's temperature blanket. I think I am going to do it again. I think I'm going to do a crochet, maybe like a crochet granny stripe is what I'm thinking. So let me show this. So this is caught up until March, what is today? Today is March 5th. So this has January 1st to March 4th in it. And it's pretty wide. I think I made it too wide, but I did just follow the instructions. So whatever. If anybody wants to know, I am knitting this on a US 8 5mm needle. Oh, and let me show you. I'm just using Big Twist. It's a 100% anti-pilling acrylic. Living is the, what's it called? Like not the kind of yarn, but the collection, is that right? Of yarn. And then obviously I just have these in multiple colors. I wanted acrylic so that I could wash it. I did not want to have to worry about hand washing a blanket. I don't know if I'll ever make a blanket not in acrylic yarn. So anyway, this is it. So January 1st is on the bottom. Can you see January 1st? Oh yeah. And then this is where we're at. These greens are so crazy. These greens are like when it's like 65 to 75 or something like that. And or somewhere around there. So it's just funny to have those like little bitsy bits in there. But I mean, I like it. I'm not honestly one for scrappy projects, and this kind of does remind me of a scrappy project. So I do think that next year I will take more into account like the leaps between temperatures that we do have here in Northeast Ohio, because like, of course I'm going to nitpick my own thing, but like I don't love this bright yellow with this like darker blue, and this is like a warmer temperature, and then it got a little cooler. So I think I'm just going to be more careful about the blending of colors, and maybe more so try to find a yarn that has a variety of the same color family instead of like totally different colors, you know, like make a blanket that's all blues or all pinks or all, you know, something like that. I think I would like that a bit better than it being so chaotic. I mean, there's some people that love these kinds of blankets, and that's good for you. Good for you. I don't hate it. I'm proud of myself for still doing it. And I'm excited to see what it looks like when it's done, I guess. So I guess I'll permanently decide like later in the year if I want to do one next year. But I truly do think I would like it much better if it was all in the same color family. I'm just weird like that, and it's not weird. I'm particular like that. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Well, guys, gals, I think that's everything. So let's do stats really quick. Oh, just reading, watching. I'm not reading. I still have not fixed my library card situation, so I have no books on audio to listen to, which is frustrating because I like to listen to audiobooks while I'm knitting. So that's been very annoying. And then watching, my husband and I started the Amazon Prime show Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I do really like it. They admit to it being a play on the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but I guess it's very different. I never saw the movie, so I don't know. But I really like the characters. That my husband actually is like agreeable to watching it, which I'm shocked. So we've been watching that, and then we finished Black Swan. Not Black Swan. What was that show? Black Mirror on Netflix. Now, my husband has not watched season 1, 2, or 3. He only watched 4, 5, 6. So I told him, I said, I thought personally season 1, 2, 3 were like way better. And there was, I guess, like a big like producer or director change between season 3 and 4. So they are like a bit different. I think 1, 2, 3 are way, way better. And I told him, I said, I will gladly rewatch them so that you can watch them, because I think he would like those ones much better as well. But anyway, so we are just watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith. We're still trying to finish Murders in the Building. It's just all slow going. We don't have a lot of TV time together, so that's always slow. Myself, I am watching Firefly Lane on Netflix with Sarah Chalk and Katherine Heigl. People have their opinions about Katherine. I don't have one. I wanted to watch the series because I love Sarah Chalk. So I just got through, I think, season 1 of that. It's an older show, and I know it's not, there's only a few seasons of it, but that, and then I finished, I do watch Sweet Magnolias on Netflix as well. I just finished their last season of that too. So just Firefly Lane for right now. I have a bunch of other things to catch up on as well, and I keep adding to my list on Netflix, like as people talk about shows. But my problem is I just subscribed a bit ago to HBO Max because, why did I do that? Oh, I think because there was like a documentary I wanted to watch. So I subscribed to that, and I don't know what to watch on HBO Max. Like, what does everybody watch on there? I like search for things, and it just seems overwhelming because it's like a new platform to me. So I never ever had HBO Max, like the channel, back when that was a thing. So I don't know what to watch. What do you guys watch on HBO Max? I love TV, so please help me. Anyway, to finish up the knitting, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there. So this is what I'm doing for the year. So this is my like main page of it. On here in the very, very top, I put all of the whips that I carried over from 2023. And then in this blue section here are all of the projects that I physically have yarn for. And then down here are just my goals. I wrote, my goals are, I would like to knit 5,000 grams, and then I would like to complete 40 projects. 40 projects like can include a pair of socks, not one sock, but like a full pair of socks, because I do love sock knitting. So that's all that. And then I keep myself organized by project. Then just past this, I will just put in here like what the project is, when I started it, when I stopped it, what yarn I'm using. And then way over here, I put the grams once it's completed, so that I can track myself there. So since I didn't have January done, it's quick. I'm just going to go through my first 2 months of 2024. So again, I want to knit 5,000 grams and I want to complete 40 projects. So I did divide that out by like a per month. So I had kind of general understanding of where I needed to be. Again, this is self-induced stress and goals. Like, nobody obviously put me up to this. But to knit 5,000 grams, that averages out to 416 grams a month. And then to finish 40 objects in the year, that's about 3.3 projects a month. 3.3 projects a month. And I'm on track so far. You know, I mean, take that for what it is. It's only 2 months. But in January, I started 7 projects. I went hog wild. 7 projects. I finished 3, so just under my, per month goal. And I knit 639 grams. I shouldn't say knit, because some of these will be crochet items. So I consumed 639 grams. So good there. And then in February, I started 4 projects. And I finished 4 projects. Now, grams used is 3,222. What? Amazing. But that is only because I finished 2 blankets. So I will not have another month like that. I just don't foresee that many other blankets being in my future. So that was pretty awesome. So I'm already at like 3,800 grams knit out of the 5,000 that I was hoping to do this year. So I'm quite literally over halfway there already, which that's exciting. And then for the year so far, I've completed 7 projects, whatever you want to call it. So that's pretty exciting. I'm down for it. I have made the decision I'm going to put down the MegaMini scarf. I am. Please, if you guys have any suggestions, I would love it. But I need to think about it. I'm going to work on my socks. I'd like to pick back up my gray space sweater, because I'm almost to the bottom of the body, and then it just needs some sleeves. So that's easy enough, yeah. And then I really, really want to get that traveler shawl done by Andrea Mowry. That yarn is like amazing. And I literally put it in the bag last week, and I tucked it away so I could not even see it out on my floor, because I did not want to think about it, because I really wanted to get this other scarf done. So, I mean, I have a lot that I can pick from. I also have some summer knits that I put away last fall that ideally I should probably get those back out and get those finished, because spring and summer are right around the corner, thank goodness. So I have some deciding to do. But no matter what I decide, it'll be okay. Oh, I have to make that baby blanket. Never mind. Everything else is on hold. I have to get that baby blanket started. I did get the yarn in this week for it. If you weren't here last week, I'm making a baby blanket for my friend's. This is my friend's sister who's having a baby. She asked me to make a baby blanket, and I said, duh, absolutely. And I was using yarn from Stash. I ended up really not liking the way it was turning out, so I bought new yarn. So that came in last week. I need to start that. I'd like to have it done by early mid-April. She's due May 5th or something like that, and my friend thinks that her sister's going to go early, which I know like everybody's like, oh, she's going to go early. But, I mean, she could. That's the thing. It's not her first baby. So I would like to have that done by early mid-April, which gives me right now 5-ish weeks. I'm going to start that. Right now. After I get dinner started, I'm going to sit down and do that. Okay. Anyway, that was a good one, right, guys? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. I do really appreciate it. I so appreciate you spending your time with me. I know it's just special, and I appreciate it. And thank you so much. I hope you all have a really, really good week. And I better be back next Tuesday, right? Because I'm on a roll. I am on a roll. All right. I hope you guys have a great one. Bye.